Ladies and gentlemen, Printies proudly presents another live 3D podcast. You didn't want to go live. We are live now, Steve. Steve Stuff.
Nah,
Steve Stuff.
that's it. Steve stuff.
Notice how who's always lurking in the background? Tom and Landshark Picker.
Great.
Landshark Picker. He messaged me like 3 times today. Pat, are you live? Pat, can I borrow money? Pat, how's the reselling? Like asking me like all kinds just for me to give him the thumbs up. You know what I'm saying?
He even messaged me, begging for you. He's like,
Oh,
"Man, I
begging,
haven't talked
begging,
to Pat
begging.
in three hours. Where's he
Yeah,
at?" It was something like that. I
yeah.
can't remember what the.
Let's tease him with the giveaway at first. Let's show him what we're gonna.
You
I'm
want
gonna
to
make.
show the giveaway?
Yeah. What's up, Dave? So show the giveaway, and we're gonna be giving this out today. And yeah, Craig has issues.
Look at that
And
lovely thing.
look at this. Look at this. Is this a hen or a rooster?
It's a well, I guess it would be a hen because roosters don't sit on nests.
Oh, okay.
So, but
It's a hen.
this one I created a while back. I showed it on the show before, I believe.
Yeah, I like
And it
that.
opens up, and then there's little tiny chicks inside.
Yeah, it's cute.
Hold on. Little tiny chicks
Yeah.
with feet. And then we got the little, hold on, eggs with feet. Oops. These are all my design. If you guys want to print this out, it is free on Maker World. So
Are you selling any yet?
I've sold a couple of them. They don't. It's just people aren't buying them. So
Yeah.
of course, the
Well,
only place I'm selling them right now is Etsy.
yeah, and sometimes just marketing.
It
But
is a really cool design though, and people do love it. It's just you can't give this away. You got to charge $25 or so for it.
hey, Ron, welcome in.
You know,
Welcome in. So we are going to be giving, and I say we,
except
meaning
tonight we are giving this away.
yeah. Um, I almost said Craig. Um, Steve is going to be giving that out, but that's what our thumbnail is. And so probably at about the half an hour mark, I'm going to ask a question. This is a simple question. And so you got to be here. Last show that we did 2 weeks, I said to Steve already, I can't believe 2 weeks have gone by. Do I have to put chicks in it?
No, Dave, you can put whatever. I know what Dave wants to put in there, and yes, it's quite large enough to store
Marble.
anything you want.
Marbles. Yes, you could put marbles in it. You could put a Twinkie in it.
Spices.
Hey, James, we just got back. We were doing the 3D. Remember I showed you we did the robot for the robotics. This was the little robot kit that we made. So at robotics, we were down in Philadelphia this weekend, and so we made up these little kits, and we gave out 100 of these to the teams and some of the players. So this was the sticker that I designed. I'm gonna make this so you can see it bigger.
That's cool.
Yeah. So how I did this, obviously it was AI, but I took multiple pictures of the actual dinosaur together with all the symbols. It took about an hour. But we made it up this little kit, and then we're going to eventually have some in the future on whatnot that will sell. But we gave out 100 of these to the team. The team had a base with it and stuff like that. But we gave out 100. We were down in Philadelphia, and we stayed down there overnight. And my kids' team did wonderful. They made it in 4th place out of 34 teams, and then went to 3rd in the finals. And so, they didn't get 1st place, but they still had 3rd, and they have enough now that in like 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to be going to Bethlehem. So if anyone has any, I still had some leftover questions from the last show because we always cut it off at about the hour and 10 mark. So I am going to ask some of these questions that people asked, but I always want to make sure that we say hello to the chat. James, I did give Josh the order that we're working on your salt shaker. And he just got home, and I actually just got home about half an hour ago. But yeah, you could put Scooby snacks in anything you want that's 3D printed. Ping G, welcome. We are going to be giving away at the half an hour mark, and we always do. What did you print this week? Yeah, so we're in the middle of printing a lot of things right now. We actually had and I didn't do a video, and I just been too busy with things and really trying to get over the weather and some injury issues that I had. But I have been started to do my gig work again and out delivering and trying to hustle and make money that way. And people been asking me on my other traveling picker, hey Pat, where you been? You coming back? And I really haven't said anything, and I haven't even done whatnot in probably 5 or 6 weeks. So that I haven't even sold anything 3D printed money wise, probably in 3 or 4. We did Harry Tornado's order like 3 weeks ago, but I haven't done a whatnot for it. Have you been selling anything?
My wholesale client bought a bunch last week, nothing this week yet.
Yeah.
I think she's slowing down, to be honest with you. It's because she's a whatnot seller, and it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Especially once you've sold the same thing over and over and over again. Well, people want something new. So,
right.
But I sold 2 of the dog business card holders that I made.
Oh yeah.
On Etsy, and what else? I sold a couple. I make these little toothpick holders. Here they are. Here's one. They just hold toothpicks.
Oh, I like that.
I sold a couple of those this week on Etsy.
Yeah.
I'm working on, well, I'll show you tonight for the thing, another one for eBay that I'm going to sell on eBay exclusively.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been doing okay. It's slowing down a little bit, but not too bad.
So, did you hear about Craig? Guess is going to get into 3D printing.
Who is?
Craig.
He'll fail.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Craig. No, he'll. I'm sure Craig will be wonderful at it. He has some knowledge and expertise that I don't have. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just an April Fool's joke, because he told me, he kept on sending me all these messages. So I don't know. You know how Craig is. I don't even think they allow 3D printers at the nursing home because you know what I mean.
I already have 12 machines. What are you, John Chartier?
Yeah.
How's the Amazon sales? They're a little slow. It's consistent. Let's put it that way. I sell 1 or 2 a day, and that's how it's been since the beginning of the year. So sometimes I'll sell 4 or 5, sometimes I'll sell 0, but it averages out to 1 or 2 a day.
Yeah.
So, and that's my fault because I haven't put much effort into it. There is a lot of competition now. There used to be no competition, and I was selling like crazy, but now there's a ton of competition. So me being able to still sell a couple a day on Amazon is pretty good. But I have to develop new products and for the Amazon market, because I know there's a big market there that I'm missing. And if my wholesale accounts are going to start slowing down, especially my big one, then I need to go in that direction. So.
Yeah, well, now that Josh is temporary, now they may go to Worlds, and I think Worlds is in Houston, Texas. But he's now printing stuff because we're getting ready. We're booking craft shows already, and we have probably 5 to 7 that we're going to probably commit it to in the next like 4 or 5 months.
We have one of those like antique malls, they call them, but it's not an antique mall. It's got everything in there. And
Whoa!
I'm considering setting up there.
Look at this big news,
Ron. Nice. I hope they're not. Did you get more minis, or did you get the A1s, or what did you do, Ron?
I didn't even realize he was kind of getting into it.
Oh yeah, he had the A1 mini.
Yeah.
And then he had a big clog on the thing, and because he was using Pet G in it, and apparently something went wrong and it got stuck, and he had to replace parts. But
yeah,
A1 and a mini, okay.
Yeah. We came home the other day from Philadelphia on Saturday night, and I'm probably going to make a video about it. $3.85 for gas. We're at $4.19 today. That's what I paid.
We're in the 470 range, I think. 479.
No.
Or no, 379.
Yeah, like 470. What are you, living in California now? But one of our nozzles basically was burnt and off. On the bamboo. Yeah, I was like, wow.
Which bamboo was it?
The bamboo with the glass.
Oh, so the P1S.
Yeah.
I had an issue with mine this week. I upgraded to the not BiCube. I can't remember the name of that. Hold on a second. I think it's on there. Panda.
Thank you, Basher. Yeah, he's doing a good job.
I got it's the Panda Shield for the poop chute in there, and then it has an updated type of brush so that stuff doesn't get clogged in your poop chute.
Yeah.
And I replaced it a while ago, and thought, well, there goes my problems. I don't have any poop chute problems anymore. Well, this week I lost a couple of prints because it would fill up that poop chute.
Yeah.
With nowhere to go, and it'll knock the cover off the thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just messes up the print altogether. It knocked my purge tower over, and then because I had two pieces in there, so now it's all strings coming out of my goose.
I know.
And anyway, so when I figured it out, I thought it was the shield that I put in there, and it wasn't. It was the nozzle. The nozzle I've got 5,000 hours on that machine. So about 5,000 hours, you probably should replace it. It was squirting out sideways, so part of the poop was hanging over the edge of the poop chute. So when it was supposed to fall, it wasn't falling because it was hanging on there.
Wow,
once I changed that nozzle out,
5,000 hours on that one already?
I think it's close to that. Yeah.
Wow.
This one's probably got 2,000. That one's got closer to 5,000, and I'm in the hundreds on one of my A1s, and the other A1's fairly new. So,
well, we got
finally show up to a show, man.
Yeah, I know. He complains I don't do them weekly. We talk about 3D printing and making money here, Beard. So you better listen closely.
I think Ron asked how often you change a nozzle.
Yeah.
On the A1s, I've changed on my first A1 only because I wanted a hardened steel nozzle on it. So I found some on Amazon so that I could print things like sparkly stuff and whatever. On this one, it was quite a few hours. It was a long time. So, and I think it's just, I can probably clean that nozzle up, heat it up. So,
hey, Tasman. So we got 18. Well, it was 18. It went to 17. So we had 22 last week. While we have this many people, show again what Steve is going to give away. It's the hen, 3D printed with the chicks. So what we're going to do, you guys, whoever wins, you got to contact Steve. If you don't contact Steve, don't tell me a month later that you didn't get your prize. So you got to contact Steve through Facebook, Steve Stuff, or you're on Instagram, right?
Nope. Facebook is the best way to get a hold of me. And you can do that either through, if you know my personal account, that's fine. And if not, it's Steve Stuff on.
Right. So it's going to be a number, a guessing number. It's going to be from 20 to 40. It's your first guess. Don't guess 6 times. It'll be your first guess without going over. It's going to be, the number is going to be Steve's birthday, the date, and then my birthday. So a combination of those two numbers together between 20 and 40. So guess one number, and that's who's going to win. Only guess once, and then, without going over. So do you understand that? Between 20 and 40. And then whoever first gets that number will win that. So there's 19 people in here. So guess between 20 and 40. It's a combination of Steve's and mine.
I don't even know the number, by the way.
Yeah.
I know part of it.
Right. So without going over. So no one.
Are we doing that right now?
Yeah, we're doing that right now while we have.
I'll hold up the prize.
Yeah, without going over. So between 20 and 40 without going over, and only one guess right now. Only one guess between 20 and 40. No one has hit it yet. Between 20 and 40, a combination of both our birthday numbers, guys. Steve's graciously going to send this to you in the mail. No one's hit it yet.
I don't even know the number, so.
James, did you guess before?
I'm going to guess 47.
It's between 20 and 40, Steve. How could it be 47?
Because I could just print one of these off for myself.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 people have guessed. That means 6 people or 5 people haven't. 20. So I'll give it like 20 more seconds, and everybody can guess one more time. No, and without going over, do one more guess. Between 20 and 40, our birthdays together, guys.
I got to tell you, this was a labor of love this week because the first print I accidentally had black instead of red in there, so his giblets or his I forget what you call those. Those were black. So I tried painting them and it didn't work, so I tossed the first one. So you guys are getting the second one.
So throw in your second guess real quick, and whoever's the closest.
This is the print that I'm most proud of because I mean it's very intricate and it took a long time.
Between 20 and 40, a combination of our 2 birthdays. Nobody's there.
Are family members allowed to win? It's fine with me.
Well, this is not fixed because I didn't tell her, but Denise Dees, yeah, it's 30.
All right, Pat.
It's 30.
Contact me via Facebook.
It's 32 because my birthday's the 6th. His birthday is the 26th, and that number is 32.
Oh, so you added them both together. That's how you did it. Okay.
Yep. Right. And that's why I said between 20 and 40. So obviously she didn't talk to you or even know what we were doing, but yeah, 32. So
good guess, Denise. I'll send it out.
Yeah. Thank you. She'll.
Now you're gonna see what a good quality print.
Yeah, and I went back and looked to make sure nobody had hit it before. But so since we're already at and we're showing things, I want to show you what I printed this week. Now I say I, meaning Print D's, but I just got home and my son did this. Now this one there's a defect, but we're trying to do stuff that is going to celebrate Americana, and you won. Nice.
What do you mean you never win? You married Pat.
There you go.
See, I'm on your side, Pat.
There you go. So we're trying to print stuff that's Americana, and I come home today, and my son is part of Patreon group, and this is what he made.
Scott likes to interrupt.
It's all right.
I can't. This is a family show, Scott. I can't say that.
So look at that. Now, we are doing this in blue. This is just a test one. So this is going to be dark blue instead of this light blue. But look at how the wings even fly.
That fits in because it's this year's the 250th anniversary.
Yeah, and even look at the tail, the eagle. Look at the feet, how they move. So this he made this for $8. This is how much it cost, and we're in the middle. But the correct color will be, this is going to be blue, this is going to be dark blue. So it'll be red, white, and blue, eagle. And we're even going to print ones that are basically, at $8. Honestly, probably. Why don't we stay patriotic in 1976? I don't know, somewhere like that.
No, I think that would be great. 1976 would be a perfect price for that.
Yeah, I think
I honestly think it's too low. I would do 2026, but
yeah, but I don't know, 1976.
But that's an interesting idea.
And I'm gonna keep this one. There was a slight, we always make a sample, so there was a slight shift. So there's a little bit of a seam line that you can't really. You can see it right there now.
Speaking of slight shifts, never stick your hand in the machine.
Oh.
While you're trying to clean out the poop chute. And the reason I lost one of my ducks is because my hand hit the head when it was moving. And boy, will those things hurt you.
Yeah.
They don't stop for your hand. But I thought it would just recorrect itself, and it didn't, and it made one of my ducks about half an inch and off.
Yeah.
So I had to stop the print, and that was
Well,
after 10 hours of printing too.
I've done it, and my wife just did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, I tell you, I just set this up on the. It stands nice. Look.
No, I like it. That is cool.
And we're
Now,
gonna.
was that a Maker World print?
No, this is off a Patreon that he's a part of.
Oh, that you did say that. That's right.
Yeah. Yep. Even the flexibility of all. I mean, really, to think how to make all this on a 3D printer. This is probably one of the best prints. I think that I mean, you got to give credit for whoever designed this. He knows more about it but they even have ones that if you want to do the brown chest, a muscular chest. So we are definitely going to print a bunch of these and sell them at craft shows, and I'll probably sell a bunch on Whatnot.
I think it's the perfect time, especially around 4th of July or whenever we're having the 250 year celebrations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good year to print that stuff.
So I asked him if I could keep
this. I do not, James.
I do that. I do that, James.
I thought about it. I have some silicone molds and stuff. Just that I don't care. I don't like the look of it when it's all mixed colors like that. So.
All right, I'm going to ask. Adam sent me a question that I didn't get to ask last week. It says, probably the main question I have is, what should I do before I buy my first machine? Should I learn a design skill, supplies, or something else? Something to do so I'm ready and don't make a bunch of mistakes. Oh, that's a really what should I learn? Design skills, supplies, or something else? I think honestly, just by watching videos on what is the best printer to buy that is reliable, I think that's really the first thing you should do. I mean, obviously the supplies as far as the filament, there's a lot of good filament out there. So I don't think, and design skill, that you don't need to learn a design skill. If you just want to print things, you could just print things, off of different things. But, I wouldn't worry about a design skill unless you really want to design things. But I mean, with the thing with me, I could come up with the designs, but do I know how to? It's so easy now, though, to go to like Meshy and things like that. Steve, you could talk about that because you've done that a lot.
Yeah. Well, I don't use Meshy. I use the one that's built into Bamboo, which actually Meshy's in that list now. You can use Meshy through Bamboo for free. Mm-hmm. You get Bamboo credits, but anybody can do that sort of thing, and that's great. You don't need design skills at all.
Right.
If I was to say where to start, YouTube. Look at all the YouTube. Find out first, like Pat said, what machine you want to buy, and then watch videos on that particular machine. When it comes to Bamboo, they're all going to be very similar. There are a little bit of differences between, say, the H2C that you guys have and the P1S that I have and the A1s, but learn your slicer program. At least the basics of your slicer program, which is the program that makes your prints happen, But as far as Meshy and stuff like that goes, it's fun to play with. If you want to learn to do more with the things, then you learn other programs. I use Tinkercad, which is a very, 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 very basic program. And
I don't have a lot.
What I use it for is to alter things.
I don't have a lot of patience
put them through Meshy.
Some of that stuff. That's where my weakness is.
I should probably say Meshy is an AI software that you can take a picture of something or have ChatGPT design a picture for you, and you take it into that program, and it gives you a 3D rendering. It's sometimes great, and it's sometimes not. It's hit and miss with them right now. It's getting better. It's getting a lot better. But
yeah, what I've learned is I'll watch even the TikTok, and there's a lot of little pointers by changing a couple settings and things like that. I
want to answer Craig's question real quick. First, we can do that. Is it difficult to reproduce an item? It depends on how you're doing it. If you're just putting it into a 3D program that does it for you, no. It's fairly easy. Now, if you want to make tweaks to that, then it gets it can be a very high difficulty level or a medium one. But Craig wanted to know, and this is important because I've tried 100 times. If I'm just using ChatGPT and I want it to build a file for me, it won't do it. And the file name is STL. Usually, you can have 3MFs and OBJs too, but STL is the main one color file. 3MF is a multicolor, and I think OBJ is a multicolor. But ChatGPT will not actually make the real file for you, even if it tells you it can. So you still have to design it or make it with another program somewhere. So, but it'll give you great ideas. It'll give you a picture. So for this chicken, I asked ChatGPT to give me a hen on a barrel. And it gave me a picture of one. I took it to that AI program and it made the basic model. And I had to do all this interior work myself. I put the way the lid attaches, I found on another file. This was really weird inside, so I had to fix that. So different levels of difficulty, really.
Oh, there's a good point, DG. I would literally have thrown the printer out the window if I haven't found ChatGPT. It has helped me fix the machine so many times, and I still use it every single day.
I haven't used it for that purpose yet, but to help me come up with ideas, it's a great. ChatGPT is my go-to. ChatGPT and Nano Banana, which is Google's image maker.
I created I tried to create, but I want it because I like the stock market, and now with everything going on, I wanted to create like a stand that was a bull versus a bear, and ChatGPT created the image that I wanted. It took a little time to tweak and what I wanted, and but the minute I tried to turn it into an STL file, it just, I don't know if it didn't work.
Which program are you using?
ChatGPT.
Yeah, you can't do it through there. You'll have to take it to an image, a 3D model generator like Meshy. I like try. What is it? It starts with a T. Let me get there. My favorite one is shoot. Give me a second. For 3D models, making a 3D model out of a picture, and you can go to Maker Lab and use their image to 3D. And it's in there. Tripo, I think it's called. But it has 4 different choices now. It's not cooperating with me, probably because I'm live streaming.
James is asking about Tinkercad.
Okay, hold on. Let me get back. Can I get closer to the mic? The mic is on the camera. It's my iPhone. Tinkercad? What do you want to know about Tinkercad?
He thought maybe that's what you were using to make the STL.
No. Tripo or something like that. It's a image to 3D program, and then I take it from that, and then I get into Tinkercad to make adjustments.
Well, I love, guys, that you guys are asking real questions. I do appreciate it.
That question's, I'll read it so that people who aren't watching or don't see that. So Steve, looking back, was investing in supplies and printers worth it more than garage sales, thrift, or media inventory, which is better route now? I don't know. I'm 3D printing has made me some good money since I've started, but so is thrifting and garage sales and that. So do I see this going bigger? Yes. I'm going to have to get back into the boring stuff for it to get bigger. But do I ever see it overtaking the reselling? I don't know. I think we're going to be 50-50. And right now it's worked out pretty well that way. Neither one of them are super great, but neither one of them are super bad either. So.
Right. And me personally, even though he didn't ask me, I wouldn't want to rely just on one thing. I don't have the confidence in something that if something, because I don't want to, you could have great, like we talked about before on these past lives, how great you did in fourth quarter selling on Amazon. But what happens if the summer is slow with 3D printing? I'm doing craft shows and we're printing, but you just never know. And I can tell you right now, and I don't usually talk about the, my other channel, Patdees, the Traveling Picker, but I've been more focused on listing stuff on eBay. And guess what? We're selling stuff every day on eBay now. Does that mean it's going to happen all the time? No. I mean, one of the things that we sell is brand new Levi jeans that I bought 3 or 4 years ago on a pallet. And I said to my wife, I said, remember when we stopped at Kohl's and they're $50 a pair? I said, where are we shipping these? They were shipping a lot of times out west, California. I said, so when we're selling jeans shipped brand new with tags for $30, I said, they're saving $20. I said, and who knows out in California, it's 50 here in Pennsylvania. It could be 60, 65 at Kohl's out there. So and this is why I'm still out there doing gig work and stuff like that, because I made the mistake, and I'm going to tell you. And if you guys want to follow me on Whatnot, I haven't been doing nothing on Whatnot lately, but the link is in there. You can get $15 free if you're new. But I had put I guess since we showed eggs and it's Easter, I had put all my eggs in Whatnot for a little while, and kind of ruined my main eBay store that I was having problems finding things. Which, I mean, you screw up 4 or 5 items, it doesn't take long. Hey, John Jones, it doesn't take long to get into problems. And the problem with Whatnot is there's a lot of issues with Whatnot, which I'm going to make a video talking about it. And, but I don't, me personally, I just don't want to rely on one thing. I want to have 4 or 5 different things going on.
I think most people who are into the 3D printing business will tell you the same thing. They don't. Most people. Now, if you have a giant print farm like that guy we featured,
that did $1 million with $450,000 on Amazon. Yep. So
I mean, but most people are going to have more than one income stream at this point if you're into 3D printing or reselling or any of that.
Yeah, because we always got to keep in mind, not everybody wants to resell. Not everybody wants to be a thrifter. Not everybody wants to do garage sales. But there are a lot of people interested in doing 3D printing. And so there's always more competition coming on. And it's in some ways, it's much easier to get into. I'm not saying 3D printing is easy, but to get in for basically with an AMS for what, $599, for under $1,000, you can get into 3D printing and sell within a week and like that, and recoup your money relatively fast. I mean, all our printers, basically, we have approximately $7,000 into printers and probably about the same into filament, and we've done that much business already. Obviously, that's not profit because you're constantly, you have waste and things like that, and then there's always. Oh, okay, James. He brings up a point here. Last show I was at, 3 people printed toys and had next to nothing in sales. Was kind of weird. Was that a Whatnot show? Or was that a craft show? James, if you can clarify that.
I'm a little worried about craft shows myself, is because I've never done one. And
yeah, we've done 6 or 7 so far. Oh, craft shows. That's what he's saying. So what is the average cost to set up at different venues? Honestly, I mean, if you're craft shows at the school or things locally here where I live, the average cost is about $75. Now, you're going to need to have tables to take with you, or sometimes they'll rent a table for $10. But $75 sort of seems, I mean, okay, $160, but $75, I don't think nothing's been higher than $75. I mean, and the tables I have from doing the flea market. But again, we probably have $15,000 into this 3D print business, and that's about exactly what we did last year. We're running into a problem. Like, you think you have 200 rolls of filament and you think that's a lot. It goes fast. You use a lot of filament and in printing stuff, or like what I've instructed my son to do sometimes is he'll download something and it's like, okay, that color may call, and I'll tell him change the color, because sometimes changing the color will make it look a little bit more cartoony, and then the kids will appeal to that. And when you're at the craft fairs, when they don't just see like a normal, all of a sudden, like let's say a dog is normally brown. Now all of a sudden you're making a light blue dog, with yellow, all of a sudden it looks like something they would see on a cartoon or on a movie. Um, what is the
There's a
average? Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
What is the
There
average?
was a question before that too that
Okay.
I'd like to get to, but you can go through this one first.
So what is the average life expectancy for a printer? I assume measured in hours. I mean, I read online. These things could go. Don't forget, you can change parts. So I mean, they can go. They can go 20,000 hours and stuff like that.
I've been,
So
and I'm sure you're in the same boat. I've been running mine this one here almost 24/7. I turn it off during the shows, but almost 24/7 since last May, so almost a year now.
yeah.
And except for changing the nozzle one time.
Is
Uh,
this Tom's question that you want to address?
no, it was Tasman's Treasures, and
All right,
it's a really big
you can read it.
long question. It says, "Can you print things clear or only color? Also, how do you know what kind of filament to use? There's different types of filament for different applications." That's a little bit of a learning curve. As far as clear, there's an opaque, it's PETG. You can print opaque, I think, and that does come in colors. So it's an opaque color. You can't get super clear on this type of printer. You can do it on the resin 3D printers, but I don't know anything about those. So as far as your question, no, you can't print completely clear, but there are opaque, which is PETG. The different types of filaments. This is PLA. Your everyday indoor stuff that's not going to see sun or heat is PLA. That's the what most people use to make these kinds of things. Then you go up to PETG, which can be used outdoors because it's a little more heat resistant. Might use that in an interior of a car, for example.
Right.
Then you can get up into even more expensive stuff like ABS, which is, I'm sure everybody's familiar with ABS plastics. Nintendo Wii's are made out of ABS plastic. I learned that a long time ago for some stupid reason. So there's a lot of different things, and there is a learning curve. But for most people, you're going to probably print in PLA, which is your most common. And then there's TPU, which is a soft, squishy material. So if you need something, well, we'll talk about that when I show my stuff today.
And the difference is PLA is usually the cheapest, and as you want to go up, and if you want something to be a little bit more resilient, you're going to pay a little bit more. One thing nice, as more and more people are getting into 3D printing, and I buy a lot of my filament through TikTok because of the deals, and yeah, DG, they point that out. Well, exactly.
Yeah, PLA is indoor only, less heat. Not indoor only. I mean, I printed a PLA. I had a fence, the vinyl fences out that you have outside in your yard, and they had to cut the fence, and I didn't like the end, so I made a cap for it. I made it out of PLA because it didn't have any PETG, and that sat out there in the summer heat for 6 or 7 weeks, and it was fine. But then I finally got some PETG, and I printed it out of that, and it's been out there all winter. It's been out there through the summer heat last year, and it's perfectly good. So PETG for that sort of thing is really good. And if you need more strength, I think ASA and ABS, which are very similar materials, are super good. But I know the ABS, if you plan on having a setup like I do, where you're in that room all the time, you don't want to run that without filtration.
Yeah. So. LA Basher asks, Pat, are these printers, when they're running more than one noisy? I mean, can you hear them throughout the house? They're actually, but relatively, when they're running, they're relatively quiet.
Depends on the machine.
Yeah, when they first start up, you'll get this humming. It sounds like a plane taking off, and then it. But I mean, you can hear it's definitely something that you can hear, but it's not overwhelming. I will say we have 7 printers, and 2 of them right now are printing in our living room on a stand. And I used to kind of keep the bedroom door open. And sometimes if I wasn't watching TV, I would like, oh man, I got to close the door because I can hear it. I can hear it out there kind of doing a mild hum. But so it's not really loud, but obviously there is noise. If you probably had it down in the for example in the basement, and I was upstairs, no, you wouldn't hear
No,
you wouldn't hear
I
that at
can't
all.
hear mine upstairs. Mine are in this office. My bathroom is right above me,
Yeah.
so I can slightly hear them, and our bedroom is just over there upstairs, and I don't hear them at all. However, these two, the P1Ss, are louder than the A1s are super quiet, except that startup procedure where it does all the calibration and stuff and the bed leveling. That gets a little noisy, but other than that, I work in this office with them all day, so it's not like super loud. Loud,
23 people.
but
Thank
not
you
super.
guys. Yeah. It's been growing, so I really appreciate Steve. We do this every 2 weeks. I make videos on this channel talking about 3D printing and stuff, and every 2 weeks, me and Steve have. I think this is actually episode number 10.
It's been a few now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a few, and it's grown, and I really there's a lot of interaction today, and I know I've missed
Yeah.
some things.
I got I got it. I want to answer Ron's thing there. It's not a question, but it's a comment. It says, "Remember when you change types of filaments, you might have to change nozzles." That is true if you're using something like glitter filament because the glitter is harsh on the stock nozzles, especially with bamboo. Some come with hardened steel. I think the H2C came with hardened steel. So the wood filaments kind of like sandpaper when it goes through that nozzle. So you need the hardened steel nozzle for that. And any of those specialty type of filaments that have additives, you're going to want a hardened steel nozzle. Other than that, you can use the stock nozzles. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't change nozzles at all we change a
And
setting.
John doesn't either. I
Yeah.
do because my one A1 has a hardened steel nozzle on it. I'm probably going to put a hardened steel nozzle on the other one because those ones are easy to get to. I want to run different materials through them, and I don't want to change nozzles every 4,000 hours. You know, that kind of thing. That's
Right.
all.
I mean, and two, if anyone's watching like something that I haven't done, but when that nozzle was on fire, my wife surprised the hell out of me. About 2 hours later, she told me she changed the nozzle, and I was like, "Wow, you
See,
changed."
Ron, I've never had PLA and PETG take different nozzles. I've run them through the same nozzle and haven't had a problem yet.
Yeah,
I'm using 0.4 millimeter nozzles, stock nozzles. I don't change them.
right.
But
There's
it
a
could be the
setting in the
machine. I
background,
don't
but
know.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to change in your slicer for that particular material, sure.
Now, guys, keep in mind. Like I've been doing this since last February. I think Steve since last summer. We're only sharing our experience. Don't take
Yeah.
what we say as absolute
Never.
or like, oh no, well Pat and Steve says this is the way you do it. We're only sharing what we do. We definitely, you know what? If I go through 3 nozzles on a machine and it really only costs under $50 in a year, that's nothing. If you're printing $25,000 worth of product and you're replacing $50, who cares? You know what I mean?
Man, there's a lot of questions today.
I
Is there a
know.
downside to using hardened steel nozzles? No downside. It's actually an upgrade. They last longer. That's the thing. They're probably shipped with non-hardened steel nozzles because it's cheaper for the company, is my guess. What was the next one? Some parts are universal within a given brand, but not always. A1s and A1 minis take the same nozzles, the same printer head, but P1S and P1P take the same nozzles and printer head. The H2C takes a different nozzle and printer head. So there are differences in the brand. So it's not all universal, but there are some that do swap. You just have to know the brand that you're on. And that is correct. PLA and PETG they don't like to stick to each other. So if you're trying to run two different kinds of filament at one time, don't run PLA and PETG because you're not going to have good results. However, people do use the PETG for support on the PLA because it doesn't stick. So if you've ever seen the supports that, you know what I'm talking about, Pat.
Yeah.
They look like little trees that hold up, say they're under the chicken's beak here,
when we make
and they're under the giblets.
Yeah, when we make these catch-all dishes on the corner, here I'll show you. We made these for Chris. Flip the World. These were, if you look, these are catch bins, and on the corner because of the overhang, we have to have supports.
Right.
So
Now, if
yeah,
you run those supports out of PETG, they come up off the print a little easier because PETG doesn't stick to PLA. I haven't tried it yet, but Josh says he has. So,
yeah.
and Ron, I watch the machine work too. I still get mesmerized by watching these machines. It's amazing to me that, but 5 years ago we couldn't have done this. There were 3D printers out there. I'll show an example when I show my stuff of what I printed on one of those older machines, but um, I couldn't have dreamed that I could sit there and watch this being made in my own house. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
out of
Out
something
of thin air.
that looks like weed cutter.
That's Star Trek shit.
Yeah, I mean, look at this container.
Sorry about my.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing.
So I'm still amazed every time I look at it.
Someone said earlier, I don't know who it was. They're trying to be. Is there going to be? I think it was Tom. Is there going to be a Miss Patdees action figure? No, I wouldn't make something of, because people are weird. So I wouldn't make something of my wife. I can make something of myself. I don't care. But I'm very protective of my kids and my wife. So no, I wouldn't do that. But looking 4 years ahead from now, we'll look back and say, wow, look how much we've printed. Look how much we've learned. Look how much we've done.
And how much better it's going to be then than it is now. And it's amazing now. That's the crazy part.
Hey, we are at almost the 50-minute mark, Steve. Why don't you show what you printed this?
I didn't get a lot of printing done this week because I was catching up with some orders and other things. And so I will show.
Not of my wife, Tom.
I wanted to show something. The very first print I ever did on any 3D printer.
I'm going to put you on solo so we can see it big, buddy.
Okay. It was a Creality Ender 3. So this tells you can get into 3D printing, at least as a novice, and learn something, even with a cheap printer you find on Facebook. Now, this one I found at a yard sale, but this is the first thing I ever printed. It is a yarn. You put yarn in there, and it goes down through here. It's missing the hook. That's why I still have it, because it didn't print correctly, but that was the very first thing I ever printed, and I thought I'd show it since I didn't do a lot of printing this week. I do have other items, but
is this
they call them yarn ball. Yeah, this is the very first time I ever printed. I printed in PLA silk.
Yeah,
and it's a green, orange pink.
I like the shiny.
And we did this for my wife's sister. Her daughter was having a birthday, and she wanted a yarn bowl, so I made that for her. Anyway, I just thought I'd show off my very first successful 3D print. That's it. That was done last summer, maybe around. Well, that would have had to have been May. In May, I did that in May because that's when we went. That's when I got my printer, my first printer. But that was that. Now, today or this last week, I've been working on this item. These are called fairy lamps. I don't remember if I showed this last week, but this is the kind of the final. This has taken me a lot of work.
It has a glow to it.
It's just the color of the thing. Yeah. It does glow though. Watch this.
Oh yeah.
So this is a little touch light I got from Dollar Tree. Takes AAA batteries.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's bright. So you put it inside there and you can make it a lamp. It's a fairy lamp. It's based on a vintage fairy lamp. I did this in. You never would have expected green. This is the material I had the most color of that I wasn't using. That's why I printed in this color. It took me a long time because I did it in an AI program. It was through Maker Lab, Image to 3D, but it doesn't give you the whole. It doesn't give you this whole. It just gives you this solid piece. So you have to cut it in pieces and do things. I had to put this ring on the bottom here. And then I put a ring on the bottom here because I didn't like the way it looked. This is almost the final piece. This is going to go up on Maker World, and I'm giving the file away free as soon as I'm happy with it.
So is this like a nightlight?
It's a fairy lamp. Look up fairy lamps, Pat, when you have a chance. They are vintage things. I don't think they actually had lights in them, but a lot of people like to put a light in them. See, that glows really nicely, don't it?
Yeah.
So anyway. You should have cutouts at the top part to let the light out. The original fairy lamps don't have them. They're made out of glass. And there's no cutouts up there, as far as I know. So, anyway, that was the one item I worked on this week. And that costs about $6 to make.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less. a lot of extra filament in the space part because I had to get it solid so that you could put a light in there. And I think I'm going to, well, I don't know, because I'll leave it big like that so people can put whatever light they want. And the most boring item I have made in a while, and I don't have it here because I sold it today. I bought a Polaroid camera. And 1 in every 3 Polaroid cameras I buy is missing what? What one piece is missing on the Polaroid camera? The eye cup, the piece you put your eye up against. So I made an eye cup. So I made that. And it's made out of TPU. So it's soft.
So it's soft, right.
Yeah. Now, this is somebody else's design, but I did modify it. This is what a real eye cup looks like, and this is the design that I found.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be on eBay once I get it perfected, but I sold the camera, so now I have nothing to attach it to. So I have to find a used Polaroid 600. 90% of the time, or not 90% of the time, 30% of the time I find one of those cameras, that eye cup is missing. So that is what I said, when I'm going back to the boring stuff, that is what is going to...
So I'm downstairs in my office in the basement in case my wife, because we did Easter, she says, you might as well show this, even though, because the eagle was a total surprise when I came home. So since Steve is showing off his whole collection, I'm going to show off
3 items.
An Easter item. Oh, that's okay. You can show off 9. We got lots of time. But this is an Easter egg.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I can't design like that yet. I would like to learn, but
it opens up.
That has the same opening clasp as mine does.
And see, there's a little. I always tell her it reminds me of Avatar, but it's a rabbit.
Oh, no way.
A rabbit dragon. So he goes in the egg.
It's really cute.
Yeah, so this will be. We were a little late. Put them in. Put this in first. Okay. Come on, get in there.
Craig says print boring if boring is what sells. I think right now the cutesy stuff is selling plus the boring stuff. But Craig had said earlier that he thinks everybody's going to have a 3D printer in their home at some point. I agree with that. So, or somebody said that. So boring is what's going to sell in the future. Because everybody's going to be able to print the free files. So be a file maker in the future or print boring stuff like this to sell. That is where I think 3D printing will be in a year or 2 from now. Everybody loves printing that fancy stuff. Not everybody wants to make a business out of it. Not everybody has the gumption to make a business out of it. You know what I mean? It's a tough gig, just like reselling. Tough gig.
Yeah.
You know?
And not everybody has the selling skills. I think right. What I do is when I'm at the craft shows and the parents are walking by, I'm saying hello. There's stands that we walk by, they don't even look at you or acknowledge you. They just want you to come up and just buy things. And I'm there at the throwing out the sword. I'm interacting with some of the 3D print stuff. We bring a 3D printer to the show where we can. Sometimes you have to pay extra, like $20, $25 for electric, but that's all right. And when a kid comes up and touches it, I say, "Yeah, look at what this does." And then all of a sudden, Mom, I like that. Can I get that? And that's what you do, because a lot of stuff, especially at the craft shows, are meant to be for kids because they're toy like and. That's important to explain it or show it in under like 15 seconds. And I could tell you that we've done like 10 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, $600-700.
I don't think Craig says how long are the fidget items going to be around. I don't think they're going to be around they'll always be around in some fashion. People still want to print them because they're fun. But I think the more people that get printers, the less of that you're going to be able to sell, And it's the practical, easy, items that are going to be.
Don't forget, toys break. So if they get a dragon and then they're like, they liked it, next year when they see it, the thing, they're like, yeah, remember that dragon I got last year? Yeah, I played with it. I loved it for 5 months and then I broke it. And I was waiting for you guys to come back and they buy another one.
My grandson just said to me that he broke his. It was a 6-foot dragon. I printed them all 6-foot dragons for Christmas, and they're all broken now.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, and that's the common with toys. At the end of the day, we're not like, well, they're going to last forever. Just like any $10 toy, things break, and if they want it for next year or something different, that's okay.
you
you
think,
know.
Josh? Do you really think that printer will print upside down? It'd be interesting to try. And it's an A1 Mini, so you're not losing much. You know. Yep, I agree. I've used ChatGPT to help me come up with brainstorm ideas, boring problems that need solutions. Basically, is what I'm asking it, and that can be solved with a 3D printer. And I think that's the way I want to go in the future. Even though I love printing the geese and the hens on nest and this, this thing here. I love that stuff, but I know that this stuff is going to pay the bills. So the easy stuff, not the easy stuff, the stuff nobody wants to do. There's not a lot of profit in a little TPU piece like that, but if you sell 100 of them, you know what I mean, and you can print probably 75 of these at a time.
Well, and that's why I think it's okay to have a good balance. That's fine. Um, there was about 3 weeks ago, and Josh Harry Tornado, who buys a lot from me and sells stuff on there, he was talking about the Yeti cups, and he said, "Oh, maybe someone was telling him, oh, you should 3D print a they didn't have he got it at Goodwill and they didn't have the lid." And now there's something like food related I don't want to print. And I showed him on eBay, you can get 3 of those Yeti lids for $8, free shipping. And,
I
and
would be I would be concerned about food safety.
exactly. So I said that, and like everybody thinks there's just certain things I don't want to print. And when I first started out, I was printing a little fork, knife, spoon set. It was a
I
little like,
remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I stopped printing them because I was concerned that I didn't want people to be like, oh, they would be using it. One-time use would be okay. But we had people, we were making them for 75 cents and selling them for $2. But I stopped printing them just because I didn't want this to be, 4 years from now. Remember all those spoon and knife set? You killed
Now,
7 kids. You know what I mean?
I think that PLA is supposed to be food safe, but don't quote me on that. PETG, James says, is fine for food. Do your research if you want to do that stuff. Make sure that what you're giving to people is not going to harm them. That's all I've got to say. I make toys and rubber cups, so
Yeah,
I'm good.
exactly.
I don't make food safe stuff. And in fact, I've turned people down asking for that. So because I don't want to put anybody, I would not have a good conscience if somebody got hurt. That would suck.
Well, and I had looked it up, and I think that they said there was some issues. That's why I was like, you know what, you don't even need the light. There's enough of it.
Plus, what if
You can
somebody swallows? What if it breaks and somebody swallows a piece of that? Now you're on the hook for. Now I guess with toys you're on the hook too.
Yeah,
So you should probably have some sort of business insurance if you're going to do this.
yeah.
Should. I don't
Uh,
currently, but I need to get it. So
did you see that question?
which one? What do you think the price point will be on the eyepiece? My guess, if I can do this correctly, there is one guy selling them on eBay right now, 3D printed, different style. I don't like them. He's at $18.99 for just this eyepiece. They fit Polaroid 600s. I have an SX70 here, but it's a little bit too big for the SX70, so I'm going to design one for that. There's a guy on Amazon who's selling legit rubber ones, not the TPU, but the real rubber, which is like this. And he's selling them for $12.99. So I figured, man, these cost what, 10 cents to make? If I came in at $9.99 shipped, I bet you I could outsell them both. $9.99 shipped. That's my price point. Goes to be $4 or $5 to ship.
Now,
You gotta go ground
I want to
advantage.
share something here. It says
Yes, you can print money.
PLA is generally considered food safe, non-toxic, is often FDA approved. However, 3D printed PL items are usually not considered food safe due to porous bacteria trapping layer lines and potential contaminants from printers, nozzles, and dyes. That alone,
You
and
would you would have. So when I worked in the box factory, we could not print pizza boxes, even though we had all the equipment that would do it. And the reason was because if you're going to print pizza boxes, you have to do that in a separate area of the shop, number one, on a machine that's dedicated only to pizza boxes, and it has to be inspected. So same thing is true with 3D printers. You're printing a lot of different things on that printer. It's going to pick up stuff.
Right.
Plus, the porous nature of these, the food's going to get stuck in there. You're never going to get that clean correctly. You can't put it in a dishwasher because it'll melt.
Right.
Or warp. So no, I wouldn't do it.
That's what I'm saying. There's enough here that tells me it's not even worth the risk. For $2, I'm going to risk that? No, it's just not worth it. So that alone.
By the way, Tom, I think Tom asked the question about the price point on these. $9.99 would be retail. So I would sell them. Somebody, let's say a reseller wanted one for a camera, and that because it was a more rare version of this Polaroid 600, maybe they needed the eye cup to bring up the value, to make it higher value.
Right.
$9.99. Or somebody just wants one. If I were to wholesale these to a company like Retrospect, $2. $2 a piece. Because they're going to buy a lot.
Right. You're going to make them buy 500 at a time, right?
Well, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
At least 100 at a time. Something like that.
Right. I agree. That's how I feel, John, about it. Yep. Exactly.
So I don't think I would worry about this, even though it does contact the skin, because it's not prolonged. How are you not even going to put your eye up to that? Nobody does.
Right.
But so I'm not worried about those sorts of things, but I do agree
that it goes into your mouth and things like that. It's definitely.
I mean, there's a big thing about microplastics nowadays, and people are sue happy. So
yeah,
I just don't want to deal with it.
Well, guys, I want to thank everyone. We do these shows for 1 hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes, and stuff like that. But we had 23 people at peak, and we gave away a chicken with chicks or a hen with chicks, and we're gonna do more giveaways in the future. The next giveaway I'll do. Maybe I'll give away one. That's what we'll do. So, in one of the future shows, I'll give away one of the Eagles with the red, white, and blue. Yeah, and I did mention that last time. Oh, wait a minute. Got a question here real quick before we go. Did you see that?
There are some settings to do that, Howie. I don't know what they are. There are YouTube videos out there, and
I don't know if Josh.
I've been meaning to follow it, but I do not know the answer to that.
Yeah, Josh, can you answer that in the chat real quick? I don't know. And sometimes I'll be honest, we don't have an answer. That's what's nice about ChatGPT or TikTok or YouTube. You can find out the answers pretty quick. And we are getting ready. Josh pointed out to do a. Yes, guys, I am almost at 1,000. I'm at 968, so I'm 32 away for 1,000 subscribers. I only have like 3,000 watch hours, so I'm 1,000 away on watch hours, and that's my own fault. I don't like to make videos just to make videos, and sometimes we're just busy, and I should be making videos talking about it. But yeah, it's. But I'm gonna try to push out more videos, and obviously be nice to make a couple extra bucks once I basically hit 3,000. Actually, when I hit 1,000 subscribers. And I'm at the watch time, I'll be able to get super chats on here. So if like Cheapo Craig wants to throw me $2, he can. So there's the my son says Jay Shelley 2000 Big Red. I just use default most of the time. It's based off your nozzle, like other 3D printers are different. So
I agree. That's what I do too. Now,
yeah,
I do want to learn.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you. We'll see you in like 2 weeks. Always on a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock East Coast time. But thanks for joining us, Steve. You want to say anything before you go?
Nope, we're good.
What about the Easter egg hunt at your house? You're not inviting your friends?
Nope, not one of you is allowed to come over to my house.
All right, I'll see you at Steve's this Saturday. I'll give you his address. Goodbye.